Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Today's session is more about case study on industrial design. And for today's session, we have a very senior designer, Mr. Anuj Prasad, with us. And Anuj actually comes with many decades of experience. He actually studied production engineering, and after that, he went to serve a few companies such as Modi Xerox and Crompton Greaves to get his industrial experience. And after that, he actually had his education from National Institute of Design in product and industrial design. And then he worked for a few years in HCL before finding his own design organization, which is called Desmania. And Desmania is a very well known organization for design services, and design innovation based in Delhi. And he has, along with his team, created multiple products and solutions pertaining to industrial design. We would like to gain his experience as a part of this course in today's session. So Anuj, you founded Desmania almost 3 decades back. Can you tell a little bit about what Desmania does and the journey so far?
Yeah. So, Desmania it's an industrial design company, largely focused on 3 verticals. We are catering to the automotive or mobility clients. We are dealing with product-based companies like consumer durables, medical equipments, and capital goods companies. And we also deal with the FMCG companies for doing their packaging work. So these are the 3 main verticals in which Desmania operates. Industrial design is largely to do with the 3D design to make it look nice and make it more usable for the consumers, giving them a great experience. So that's the objective of design services which we offer. So we have been there for last 30 years now, and when we started out, it was something very new, post liberalization. But over the years, design has gained a lot of traction amongst the industries, and it has become a great competitive tool for all the corporate and the industrial houses to use it as a winning way or differentiating their products in the market and also making them export worthy. So we cater to all these clients, which includes the large corporate in India, industrial houses, MSMEs, and many more.
Yeah, thank you. And since you are in the space of industrial design now almost for many decades, I am sure you would be filing a lot of design registrations either for you or mostly for the clients. So I think it would be good to know what is the kind of value this design registration brings to your organization and business. If you can tell something about it,
Yes.
that would be wonderful.
So design per se is something which is the property of the client, and they're making an investment in it. So any new design which comes out means a huge amount of investment by the client or the company which is going to introduce that product, and it means that nobody should be able to copy that design, and they need to protect their design through filing design registration or the IP or the patent, depending on the product which they have. So it is extremely important for the client to file for design registration, and this is one tool which helps them in protecting their design, differentiating it, and maintaining it till the time the design remains there in the market. So, every client over the last 30 years of our design practice, we have seen that they have become extremely aware of design registration. In the early days, people were not even knowing about design registration much, and neither was this facility so openly available in India. But now, I think the first thing which they want to do after finalizing the design. So, industrial design process is such where you start with conceptualization, then converge to a final design which is seen through renders, and then mostly you make a physical model which is called an appearance model or a mock-up, which translates the design into something which is a physical entity, and then the approval happens through the client and through some research done with the consumers. The moment this design is final, immediately after this the client would go in for design registration, and that's something which is like it's mandatory. Everybody does it, and it is done at the right stage, right level of the project.
Okay, thanks. So when you actually do a lot of product design work, you end up with various types of IP. For example, there may be situations where the IP is in the form of a patent or a design registration. So do you also differentiate and also decide whether to file this new IP as a design or a patent, or are there any situations where you had also confusion whether it should go as a patent or a design registration?
So, industrial design is largely to do with two things essentially. One is giving a new look, which is the shape, color, material, finishes, and which is unique because the brand wants something which is related to their what they want to depict or what they want to communicate in the market. And second is integration of certain technologies to give features. So these two aspects play a very critical role in industrial design. So for example, if you want to give a Bluetooth technology for easy communication with a certain device, then it's a technology which already exists and we are just integrating it to make the consumer or the user's life easier. Now, these two aspects, which is like one is the shape, form, size, color, finishes, that falls in the design registration part. Now, that's something if you are doing anything for the client, they expect that we will be giving them a unique new look. So, design registration is a must for sure. Now, whether you can file a patent by using or integrating certain technologies, that's a tricky question, and we need to really contemplate and discuss, debate on the whole thing whether there's a possibility of a patent in that or not. So patents are actually filed only when there's a unique way of integration of certain mechanisms, technology which no one has done before, or if you have invented a completely new technology which the industrial design firms do not do. We don't invent technologies, we only integrate it in the most appropriate manner. So there have been instances when the clients have asked us, should we file a patent or not? And only in very few cases you end up filing a patent because largely the work done by industrial design companies like ours, the consultancies, is mainly for design registration. But because we also design our own products, which is done under Desmania Innovation Labs, where we do a lot of integration of technologies in a very unique manner, which relates to much better user experience. There we have filed many patents.
Oh, that's interesting to know. Uh, are there any examples of, let's say, industrial design or design registration which you would like to share, where your client or you were immensely benefited because you filed a design registration and had a protection?
So there are many such examples. So, first of all, working with FMCG industry, where they sell in millions, and what we design is a big differentiator on a very cluttered shelf. So we have done a lot of work with Procter and Gamble, and they have filed many design registrations based on what we gave them. One of the good examples is uh, packaging jar which was made for Marico almost like 15 years back, and the design registration was such that it gave them a very iconic kind of a product, and they have continued using that packaging basis the design registration, and they have really got a huge market. But one of the areas I think which was a patent which was done for fan company, fan manufacturing company, which is Orient Fans. We had designed the first LED fan for them way back in 2009, and they had asked us in particular to design something where they can have an IP on it, which they can really sell as a story in the market. So this LED fan, which was operated by remote way back in 2008-9, was something which was completely new in those days. Now you have so many fans with LED lights and all, but this patent they filed, and this fan sold like such hotcake for many years, and still they say that the demand is always more than the supply, and these kind of design registrations and patents combined together can give them a leadership in the market, the first mover advantage in a very big way. So everybody who follows is only a follower, and becoming a leader with those kind of technologies becomes extremely difficult for them. So that's the reason many clients and companies, they want a good combination of patent and design registration put in together.
Okay. So it's good to know that you are able to add a value to many of your clients through filing IP as a patent and more often design registrations. Anuj, design is also a very iterative process. It undergoes multiple changes, and after the user feedback, it goes through multiple refinements. So what is the stage which is ideal probably for filing let's say a design registration? Too early will probably be immature, but too late is also maybe you have revealed a lot of things. So is there any appropriate time when one should consider filing a design registration?
So that is something which is always a little challenge for the industry. But if you understand the whole process of design registration, and what is the benefit that you derive out of it, and what are the implications of infringement, then you understand that the moment you have a unique shape, form, color, all a combination of all these things put in together, and you're sure about it that this is something which you have finalized, you need to file for the patent. So ideal condition is before you get into the technical or engineering part of the design, when you have seen the physical model which has taken care of the feasibility part of design. So design thinking process has essentially 4 or 5 steps depending on what you follow. But a very important part after the conceptualization is feasibility of design, where you do a technical feasibility, you do a manufacturing feasibility, and such kind of things. So once you have done that, then immediately you should file for the design registration. And implication wise, what I have understood from the policies which the government has, the infringement happens if one is of course very similar look, and second is also the intent. I think intent is a very important part of the legal process, where the jury, if they feel that there's an intent of copying, even then there could be infringement. So there are two things: one is a physical visual similarity, and second is intent to copy. So one of the cases which actually happened in the US related to Jeep and Mahindra was more to do with the intent, because it looked similar, not maybe completely, but the intent was to make it look like Jeep, you know. So these kind of things have to be really taken care of in a big way, that maybe you are not making it physically same, but the intent also should not be to copy.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting point. There have been quite a few litigations where intent versus contents were argued to give basically judgment either in favor or against the plaintiff, which we have seen in the past also. I also wanted to know, is it necessary to have a physical prototype to file a design registration, or because you did mention that you go through first digital prototyping followed by a physical prototyping. So if I have a digital prototype, is it a good idea to file a design registration or wait till physical prototyping happens?
See, it depends completely on your own confidence level. With the advent of technologies in designing, many a times on several products, you know you are sure about the design purely through a digital prototype. So ideally, once you are done with the feasibility study and you are in the digital prototyping stage, you should just go ahead and file the design registration, because you are almost close to 90%, and the requirements for the design registration are just those 6 different views which are required, and they don't ask for a picture of a physical prototype, but they just need the views which could be in the 3D rendered format.
So, I also wanted to know, did you face during your journey as an industrial designer and as a founder of Desmania, any situations where you had to face, let's say, a design infringement? And how do you deal with infringement when it happens?
So, as a design consulting company, it is our responsibility to give original design. Now, with so much of technology and the access to information, and while you're working with team of young people, it becomes extremely difficult, you know, to control and monitor as to what is being designed and is there something similar, you know, which is available anywhere else in the world. So it's a very big challenge. But only way to prevent is to keep a record of the way you have evolved or developed a certain concept. You know, so as a designer, you start with the, say, a research. You have certain insights. Your interpretation of insights are different from other people's. Then you go on to conceptualizing through sketches, and then you develop it into a digital prototype and then a physical prototype. Now this is a whole process, and which is quite evolutionary in nature, and it also has a convergence. You know, you have a lot of information in the beginning, and then you converge to a design which is tangible design. Now this whole process, if it is recorded right, then you are sure that the whole thing has been done in a original frame of work, and it is the outcome of the minds of designers who are working with you. But the theory of coincidence is such that you might find a similar looking form, shape, color somewhere else in the world in some other product category, you know. So these kind of things have happened, you know. The customers have shown us after the design finalization that some other product similar exists somewhere else, somebody found out from their team. But mostly what we have seen is that these products fall in a completely different category, you know. Like you are designing a consumer durable, and that category is probably into instrumentation. So then there's no infringement also. And also design registration is over a certain geography, you know. So geography is something which has to be decided again. If you are looking at design registration for a global launch kind of a thing, then definitely it's a much bigger challenge. I think now you also have technologies like Google Lens and all to do an early check and validation, or it could be done by the client side after design validation, that a check, IP check is made by their team, you know. So these are the ways of preventing infringement, but we have definitely seen many cases where the client has come to us and they have told us that somebody has filed a case of infringement on their product which is designed by us. Then we have to give them a whole record of the way we had designed it or what are the differences in the design, because our endeavor is to give original, but the theory of coincidence can actually lead to something else, you know.
Yeah, true. So, any last piece of advice from your side? How can probably, because India has not been very aggressive in filing design registrations and has also probably lost out. So, any ways where probably more and more people can come forward and protect their design as a design registrations? Any advice?
Yeah. So as the industry is growing at a fast pace, manufacturing in India is picking up. So there will be a lot of design happening, and the big corporates, the industrial houses, they have a system, they have a legal cell, they do file the registrations. But anything which you are doing, any new thing which you are making, even as a student or even as a professional or as an inventor, I think this is something which should be at the back of your mind to protect your design. Now, I'll just quote a very simple incident. There are many evangelists and there are many, people who are working for the society. They think that patents should not be filed also, and they make open patents. Now, someone whom I spoke to, he said that I don't want to file a patent, but his advisor told him that if you don't file the patent, then somebody is going to copy your patent and file a case on you for infringement. So this is a very funny situation. So you want to be, giving it out to the society by not filing a patent or having an open design, but somebody else can copy and file a case on you. Can you imagine a situation like that? So it's always a good idea to protect your design through IP and design registration, irrespective of your noble intents.
True. And I think probably another reason uh, probably for filing is that if you make it if you don't file and make it open, maybe somebody can copy, but copying itself may be of poor quality and it will actually bring a lot of bad, which we can say, branding for country and the industry itself. So I think filing is a very, very important process. So thanks, Anuj, for those wonderful experience sharing tips as a part of this course. So as we have seen from the industry, particularly coming from Desmania, that why is it very important to file an industrial design, and we also kind of got an insight into relationship between the design process and industrial design as well as filing of design registrations. Thank you.
Thank you very much.